EAS, they will have that copy. Other which you don't the local area calibration. Suppose you want to calibrate, means you have to go back to BIS, they will have this original prototype, other which you calibrate. So it becomes very difficult, right? One prototype which that prototype has to be transferred to 183 countries. 183 countries will have so many places. For example, weight is a system which is used on a day-to-day basis. If something decalibration is happening and you have to calibrate back, you can't go to BIS each and every time to calibrate your weight. But if you have a constant, means in a local laboratory, so you can do this. Local science laboratories, you have a constant, you can easily do this. So easily we can do this. What I'm trying to say with this thing. Okay. With this redefinition, the range of universality has been extended in an unprecedented way. The constants involved are precise and universal numbers. Hence, whether the mass is measured on the Earth or say Moon, it can be determined with precision. Okay. So this is a question you can see. Actually, the question rendu type of divide pannirukom. Discuss the mechanism involved with one type and how the recent changes will affect the measurement process. Rendu part divide pannirukom question. Question padichone please divide pannidukku. Theriyudho illiyo the topic structure first pannidukku. Question padicha odane ungalku theriyudho illiyo the question enakku onnume theriyalana kuda vittu varadinga. Subtopics poti edachum eludikvaanga. Slowly you will build your content, but trust me, if you know the structure, means some point will become basic points, general points you can write. What change is going to be? SI is not going to make much change. Planck constant kilogram but the same SI will happen. It's not going to have any practical consequences at the immediate level. Probably in the future it may have some consequences. Other the short term it may have anything, but in long term it may have something. But put the subtopic and write something. If you are not building the basic structure more, it will be very difficult for the person who is correcting the answer. I am correcting so many answers on a daily basis. When I see the basic structure is being good, it becomes easier for me. I can give marks. Okay, the person has written the first part. Okay, 2 marks, 1.5, 1 mark I will give to that person. The second part of structure is not being answered. Now I have the patience to search that you have not answered this. Anyway, you have written, but you have not put the subtopic. Anyway, I will give you the mark. The person who is sitting at the opposite end, he doesn't have that patience. One paper 200 or 300 rupees the person may be getting. He doesn't have the patience. 60 years old guy. Afternoon lunch the paper kadichirukku pasikuduna unga paper padikka kuda maatar. Nara mark puttu poyinga, but think about that person. When you build a basic structure, the person, it makes his job easier. Fulla already எழுதி வெச்சிட்டோம். I know you have the content you have written, but make it little bit more presentable so that the person likes your answer. Don't make his talk. He is not going to search like I am doing. A few hours I will search where the person has written. If the person has written that point, I will give marks because I have the patience. The person 60 years old guy, he has no patience. Suppose your wife would have put in 1 hour coach him life anything. You don't want to sacrifice your 1 year of preparation by not doing these small things. Build your presentation. As I said you, the person has written everything. But again, here I have said that divide the questions into 2 parts. You have to first divide it. That's when it becomes easier for you to see that how many points you have to write in here and how many points you have to write in the second part. Okay? We shall escape the absurdity of growing a whole chicken in order to eat the breast or wing by growing these parts separately under suitable medium. So we are saying about cell-based meat or tissue culture. What they are saying is that instead of growing a hen from chick to becoming a hen for 100 days, we could easily do the tissue culture in 10 days within a controlled environment. And probably what we can do is that we can give specific nutrients. People who eat meat, there are issues of, there's salmonella bacteria there in the meat. That's why they will say that you have to always, cook the meat properly. Without cooking the meat properly, we should not eat it. There is an issue of this bacteria there. And there's an issue of this, cholesterol and other such things in meat or something. So they are saying that we could make sure that this meat can be made in such a manner that the type of this bacteria can be removed, because it is anyway done in a lab-based environment, which means that it will be totally sterilized. So the microorganisms have no chance to develop. Again, we can fortify the meat to have some basic nutritional values. Suppose the meat is higher on cholesterol, we can reduce the cholesterol amount, we can increase the protein amount. So we can easily fortify the meat also. So this is the, so we are saying that in the light of above statement, critically examine. Directives study. Critically examine, you have to give me the pros and cons, merits and demerits. Merits of the meat is that it becomes easier for you to environmental issues, socio-economic benefits, environmental, if you could, everyone has read the triangle, right? The energy triangle. Suppose there is a 100 kg, 1000 kgs of grass is there. There is a 10% rule. When it goes to the next level, 100 kg, okay, then 10 kg, then 1 kg. Suppose a man is eating 1 kg of your tissues being formed, means it needs 1000 kg of. If you are eating a meat, if a person is eating a meat, means 10 kg of meat. If a person eats, means he will probably gain 1 kg of energy. But for that 1 kg of muscles he is gaining, he is actually eating 1000 kgs of grass, because it goes on 2 to 3 levels, 100 or 1000 kgs, 10% rule, which usually we speak in the environment. So environmental loss can be reduced, right? And then we have other animals, they extract this methane gas. For example, cow, the tummy, in the stomach of the cow, there's a lot of methane gas which is being let out. So this methane, global warming will also reduce. You can mention all those points in the pros. Cons, you can say that the ethical issues, again, killing. A lot of vegetarians do not eat meat because it involves killing an animal. Suppose you are not even killing an animal, you are just developing the meat in the laboratory, and probably vegetarians will also think that since no animal is being killed, I can eat this particular thing. The basic thing vegetarians not eating meat is because an animal is being killed. If an animal is not being killed, you are doing it artificially, then that's can also happen. Cons is also ethical issue. They can say that this is not, certain religious people, they will feel offended that we should not eat this type of meat. And again, artificial synthetic meats, I don't know what's happening, probably may have future side effects. There is an issue. Without purillana, the cancer issues. Anything people don't understand, they'll think that cancer will come out of this. No scientific benefit, they'll say cancer will come. So some, rumors will happen. So pros and cons, merit and demerits, analyze panna. Okay. Benefits is that nutritionally equivalent to the conventional animal meat, grown in a sterile environment, can address the concerns relating to food security, environmental sustainability, and animal welfare. Using animals in research purposes can be reduced, less scope for infection from Salmonella and E. coli. Challenges is that the science is still work in progress. There is need to regulatory framework, etc. etc. Way forward, CCMB in collaboration with the NRCM has initiated the research so that it can be cultivated into meat. Okay. Now, person has written the answer. Cell-based meat is produced by the in vitro cultivation of animal cells. Government of Maharashtra, along with the UK NGO, has signed up a center for worth of 50 crore. Health benefits, reducing infection, reducing intake of vaccinated, socio-economic benefits, slaughter-free, that way protecting against animal cruelty, significantly lower land and water footprint, fast and efficient with more input to output ratio, etc. etc. So easier divide by data requirement, structuring the answer, health benefits, socio-economic benefits, ethical benefits, அது மாதிரி ஈஸியாக ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் பண்ணலாம் ஆன்சர். 2-3 பாயிண்ட் ஒரு சப் டாபிக் போட்டு எழுதுறீங்கன்னா it becomes easier for the person who is correcting that he has written this point. Okay, again, but the hindrances remain. It affects the farmers who stick to the traditional poultry. It will affect the life of farmers. A lot of animal husbandry is being done. So we need to know what about the livelihood of the farmers, right? Cultured meat requires high technology skills, thereby a lot of investment. Investment and skills is some challenging. Any issue now, a lack of investment, a lack of technology, lack of skills. The 3 points standard up போடலாம். அது மாதிரி points எல்லாம் போட்டுங்க. எந்த challenge வந்தாலும் இந்த 3 points you have to mention. Any points you are mentioning it or not, mention these 3 points. The inhibition in the mindset of people towards untested edible product. People will have initial inhibition that how can we test it, and someone says that the Saka cancer or then no one will even touch this thing. Okay, proper legislation regulations are required. Appropriate labeling is needed. Okay, so these are issues. So therefore, what we can do, but a good answer. Discuss both sides, the merits of cultured meat and demerits of the cultured meat. Okay, only a right balance between conservation and development can secure the future of tigers. Substantial. Why we need a balance between the conservation and development? We do need conservation at the right time. We also should not lose focus on developmental issues. We need both. So other substantial importance of tiger conservation and why sustainable conservation is needed. 2 points. Also evaluate, are we on the path? So question is evaluate, are we on the path of achieving? Evaluate na நம்ம என்னென்ன ஸ்டெப்ஸ் எடுத்துருக்கோம் லிஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு where we have to improve, we have to list. Okay. What are the steps we have taken to conserve tiger? Includes Project Tiger, NTCA, okay, creation of tiger reserves, National Park Tiger Sanctuary, signing of international agreements, St. Petersburg Consensus, something, whatever you know about tigers, whatever we have done to protect the tigers, you put it, and then you have to evaluate whether we will be able to double. In 2010, we had 1,706 tigers. 2014, we had 2,226 tigers. So whether in 2022 we will be able to double to 1,076. So 1706, 1706, whether we will be able to double. That means somewhere around 3,400 tigers we need. The present count according to 2014 is 2226. The tiger census is completed, probably in a few months we will get 2018 numbers. But anyway, it is going to increase at max 3,300 to 400 numbers 2018. So probably this, you should say whether this is over ambitious, or we able to, can we able to achieve the target, or where are we lagging, where are we leading. You can mention about the challenges like man-animal conflict that's happening, fragmentation of land that is happening. All these are challenges for increasing the tiger number. Captive tiger breeding is happening, natural tiger breeding is kind of it's reduced in the present days. Like that points you can mention, poaching is happening, especially for tiger skin. And one of the points mentioned today, way forward. Okay. International efforts in tiger conservation, other challenges around the world. This answer development like upgrading infrastructure, fragmentation of forests, so certain data, NTCA what has done, okay. But challenges, human-animal conflict, loss of habitat fragmentation, various diseases due to climate change, global warming, illegal poaching, and how to achieve regulating the illegal trade, reducing man-animal conflict to GPS tracking, adequate vaccination to the diseased tigers, habitat fragmentation should be minimized, corporate social responsibility can be extended. The person has addressed all the parts of the question, right? From what we have done to conserve tigers, what are the challenges remaining, what is the way forward. 15 points, somewhere around 12 to 15 points the person has written. Okay, that's how some answers said, your points really matters. The number of points you write in an answer, that's what getting to, it will make you to push beyond 440. If you are completing the answer and if you are writing 3 pages means, I will guarantee you 400 you will be getting. Not about that 40 marks, 440, 450, 460 is when you count the number of points you are writing. You properly structure your answer no matter what the question comes. Those are the points which will push your mark to 440. Or else 400 is a very easy game. If you complete all the 20 questions on time list, you can easily get 400 with the right amount of knowledge. 440 is when you address all these issues, small things you take care. The demand for natural gas is increasing at an alarming rate and India is keener, particularly shale gas. So the demand for natural gas is increasing. Why India is so keen on shale gas? Why we need shale gas? Because you can mention some points like we are highly dependent on imports. We are moving towards a cleaner economy, etc., etc. You can say why we are so keen to exploit our shale gas resources. In this context, analyze briefly the fracking technology. You know what's fracking technology, right? High speed this thing of water to break the rocks and to get the shale gas out is called as fracking technology. Examine its environmental implications. So 3 parts, why we are keener to get the shale gas first part. Second part is what's the fracking technology, draw a diagram, something possible. Inga vandu diagram easier draw panna. Every environmental question try to draw a diagram. Okay. For this question you can draw a diagram showing where are the major shale gas resources that can be present. Any environmental question, just think that you have to draw a diagram. Any environmental, any geography question. Without drawing a diagram, you are not addressing the environmental question or geography question properly. Definitely learn how to draw a good India map, practice with it, and whenever there is an environmental or geography question comes, you have to draw a map. Okay. So, what is the need? Because India faces energy crisis, fueled by pure availability of coal. Indian economy import billions of 120 billion annually. Hence, we need unconventional natural gas resources, shale gas. India has an estimated 60 trillion cubic feet of recoverable shale gas resources. So we have a map saying where and all we can find shale gases in India. Draw a map. Okay. Fracking is a process of drilling down into the earth before a high pressure water mixture is directed at the rock to release the gas, especially the shale gas. water, sand and chemicals, especially something called as guar gum use பண்ணுவாங்க. There is something called as guar gum which is used in the fracking technology. The process is carried out vertically by drilling horizontally to the rock layer. The term fracking refers to the rock is fractured apart by high pressure mixture. Advantages, implications என்னன்னா வந்து fracking fluids detrimental to health and ecosystem. They may cause cancer. Contamination of drinking water wells. This is the biggest issue. One is that we don't have adequate water, and second is that by fracking we will be contaminating the aquifer also. That's the biggest issue that is being said, and it may lead to the local seismic issues. Small local seismic earthquakes can come. It can create disturbances in the earth system. Something like that can happen. Beyond water contamination, issues in disposal of toxic and sometimes radioactive frack fluid. Fracking is banned in other countries. So what can be done? We can also do that. Shale gas exploitation should be done where aquifer is not nearly present to the shale gas, or probably go to other technologies, electric vehicles, move to that, so that we don't even exploit shale gas. Okay, this is a good answer. Shale gas is an unconventional mining activity used to extract natural gas and petroleum resources. Hydraulic fracking technology is a technology wherein huge amount of water along with chemical agents and guar gum are supplied to pipes in deep rocks with very high pressure. This creates cracks through a pipe oil and natural gas is being exploited. Okay, etc. etc. But what is the issue? Requirement of very high amount of water. Production of guar gum instead of food crops can issue food security issues, challenge. Leakage of natural gas, geological instability, seismic issues, earthquakes can also come. So a good way forward. That's it. Simple answer, right? Simple structure to build your answer. 11th question. Every space mission of India is a technological challenge that has been achieved with a very high degree of self-reliance. In this context, comment on how ISRO's human spaceflight program will be its next giant leap. So first part of your answer is you have to mention about space missions of India and how it was a technological challenge. How did we overcome some technological challenges? For half a page in Malay, you can discuss about those technologies. Take out a lot of things. GS3 Mark 3, cryogenic engine. Is where you can take a lot of things. What India, Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan. Okay, we have done a lot of things where it was a technological challenge. Still, we overcame those. But in this context, comment on how ISRO's human space program is giant leap. So you have to say about something about Gaganyaan mission. Say what are its futures of Gaganyaan mission, and then tell how it will be giant leap. You can give a lot of examples. Saying this Gaganyaan mission will ensure building of scientific temple. It will lead to a situation whereby more such spin-off discoveries, like we said, a lot of spin-off discoveries can be done through this Gaganyaan mission. It will make our space more alive. We can future of the space wars or more we will be having a thing, and then we don't have a space center. Now we will send people in the space. In future we can also build a space center, like US is having a space center, China is having a space center, Russia is having a space center. For India also we can have a space center by where we can do researches. So this is the first stage. Now we are through this we will be testing our GS3 Mark 3. So in future we can build some more things. We are doing this reusable launch vehicles. Okay, and then what will happen is that we can have a shuttle, we can go and come back. So by this manner we can master reusable launch vehicle. We can master the this thing, ramjet and scramjet technology. You know, right? Ramjet and scramjet. Ramjet. Okay, such technologies. We can master such technologies. So you can say that this is our way forward, because from this we can get an inspiration whereby science and technology more a lot of people can come to India. After Mangalyaan we have put 106 satellites into this space whereby our Antriksh Corporation. Have you heard about Antriksh Corporation? Commercial arm of ISRO. So we can get a lot of business from Antriksh Corporation. People will come to India, like a lot of satellite, people who want cheaper launches, they can come to India, so that India can cater the huge space market that's growing. And this will also lead to local level the business can generate. Small startups can come up with space related issues. So a lot of things can happen. Broader you can say that this is because of this will happen. How broadly you can think and write, you can write. You can start from economy, social, political, anything you can write. How this will lead to this, spin-off technology, anything you can write. Just connect. Broader connect the concept. Broader that will lead to a very good answer in this question. How does the question will scope it? About how well you think, that many marks you will get in this question. Okay. So the second 12th question is about the race colonialism. Critically examine. What do you understand by waste colonialism? Waste colonialism. Lot of people have said that dumping of waste. Dumping of waste from a developed to a developing country or underdeveloped country is called as waste colonialism. நம்ம இங்க இருந்து வந்து பக்கத்து தெருவுல போய் குப்பை போடுறது is not called as waste colonialism. Colonialism means what? Colonialism is one country is basic, because lot of people made mistake in this defining what's called as waste colonialism. No, a basic common sense could have used what's called as colonialism. A developed country or a first world country is capturing a second, third world country is called as colonialism. Waste colonialism is dumping of waste from this country to that country is called as waste colonialism. So, what do we understand by the term waste colonialism? Critical examination taken by the government in addressing the issue of dumping hazardous and toxic waste in the country. What are all the measures that has government has taken? Measures list பண்ணுங்க. And then what are the challenges that remains? Challenges list பண்ணுங்க. Way forward list பண்ணுங்க. 4 part of your answers. First, define what's called as waste colonialism. Then, define what are the steps taken by the government to address the issue of waste colonialism, the dumping of waste. Mention what are the challenges that the government still faces in solving the issue of disposing of waste or dumping of waste, hazardous waste. And finally, look for the way forward part. What can we do more? Okay. Waste colonialism is the practice of hazardous waste from developed country to underdeveloped ones for disposal. The term was called as toxic colonialism. Okay. The term refers to the practice of developed nations who rid themselves of toxic hazardous waste by shipping it to the less developed countries. For example, ship breaking or industry. There is shipbuilding industry, there is a ship breaking industry. Shipbuilding industry will be in the first world countries. South Korea, Japan, US, there will be shipbuilding industries. But shipbreaking industries will be coming to India. Alam in Ori, there is a place called as Alam in Gujarat. Alam in Gujarat is very famous for shipbreaking in India. And there is in Bangladesh also this shipbreaking industry. Shipbreaking industry will usually come to the third world countries because the rusted things from the water, whatever they are bringing from the first world countries, it will be dumped in the third world country. Shipbreaking industry. So hazardous waste is being dumped in country. A lot of things is done. Nuclear waste. A lot of nuclear waste is dumped in the African countries. Lot of hospital waste are being dumped in third world countries. Singham 3 படம் பார்த்திருந்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும். ஆஸ்திரேலியா hospital waste India dump பண்ற மாதிரி காமிச்சிருப்பாங்க. So a lot of this thing is being dumped. So you could mention all these examples to say. Okay, what are the government has done? BRS convention, that is Basel Convention on transboundary movement of hazardous waste. Rotterdam Convention on Trade Information Concern of Movement of Hazardous Chemicals, Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants, India ratification of Minamata Convention on Mercury, okay, GIS-based National Hazardous Waste Information System, EPA, E-Waste Management Rules, Hazardous Waste Management Rules, Plastic Waste Management Rules, and the rules லாம் கூட நீங்க மென்ஷன் பண்ணலாம். Battery Waste Management Rules, Plastic Waste Rules, Biomedical Rules, Municipal Rules, Strategic Approach to International Chemicals Management. உங்களால் எவ்வளோ பாயிண்ட் லிஸ்ட் பண்ண முடியுமோ லிஸ்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் challenges பற்றி பேசலாம். Issues. Lot of waste is generated. There is lack of segregation of waste at the local level, and then waste shipbuilding, shipbreaking industry பற்றி பேசலாம். It provides livelihood to people, but again it's distracting the environment. அது மாதிரி you can speak about lot of challenges or issues that relates with this waste colonialism. We are still under a lot of countries, they do not participate in these conventions at all. US is not a part of half of these conventions because they want to dump, so they don't even sign these conventions. Again, if they are dumping, where we can go, where we can bring this thing up. So lot of international cooperation is still missing in this issue. Though we have certain conventions, international cooperation is still missing. That is where we have to work out. Okay, and etc. You can just see what are the issues and what are the measures we have to take. Recently I read what happened is that in a school in one of the southern district, the school children, what they done is that this term called as extended producer's responsibility, EPR, plastic waste management rules. So what the school children had done is they collected the waste of the biscuits, the chocolates, dabba they collected the waste and they sent it to the company itself. To the municipal commissioner, he sent a letter that according to these rules, they are responsible of producer to collect back the waste. The children has collected the waste and it said that you have to give me 500 rupees for the transaction postal charges. Okay, something like that also being done. So this is creating a awareness among the school children that you have to know, the extended producer responsible according to the plastic waste management rules. It is the responsibility of the producer to collect back the waste. So something you can mention. Okay, So see that waste colonialism refers to the practice of developed countries dumping hazardous solid waste in the underdeveloped countries. It's about limit, not in backyard. Okay. Basel Convention regulates the transboundary movement. We have the foreign trade policy which laid those import policy for metallic waste. Ministry of Environment has the hazardous waste rules. The pre-shipment inspection, meet the recycling e-waste, Environmental Protection Act, Ministry of Fertilizer and Technology, Societal Task Force addressing the hazard. Apart from the above, waste management is still an ongoing issue because of poor waste segregation, waste to energy power plants. This is the issue of waste to energy power plants in India. Basel norms followed or not followed to be strictly, so they should be followed strictly. Safe disposal of nuclear waste is still an issue. CPCB is not assigned so many powers, pollution control board, but they are not given that many powers in doing all these issues. Okay, or shipler or waste vanduchina, then most of the issue rests with the port authority for the customs, not with the central pollution control board or state pollution control board. So you have to give them the powers. So if a ship is coming with a waste, those CPCB or the SPCB should be given the powers. Again, regulatory issues still remains. Another point we can discuss. Okay. Third question is that in the light of allegations made by the US regarding the IP issues in India, what reform do you think can be brought in laws? US has recently, there are a lot of allegations, right from the solar issue to the special 301 report now, the priority watch list report from India. And then on the section 3D, compulsory licensing, evergreening of patents. The US keep on saying that India is not doing this, India is not doing that, India is not doing this. So what are the what reforms do you think can be brought in the laws and procedures governing the IPR with refers to the patentability issue? Do you think that the restriction placed on a legal framework should be relaxed? Restrictions placed on a legal framework includes compulsory licensing, etc., etc. So do you think it should be relaxed, justified? Okay. Introduction. US has placed India in the priority watch list for not adequately or effectively promoting or protecting or enforcing the IP rights for American companies. So why we need IP and issues, process to product patents, section 3D of the Indian Patent Act, compulsory licensing, DPCO, drug price control order. Recently when the stents prices were controlled under DPCO order, the US reacted very strongly against it. Because most of the companies including Johnson & Johnson, they supply the stents. And the price was reduced from very high to very low amount, and due to which these companies, they reacted very badly against India. Okay, food security and IPR issues. IPR, CPR, again what US people done, they have got patent for turmeric. You know the turmeric which we use in a daily life, they got saying that it has medicinal properties, so they have got patent. They got patent for neem. All this are traditional knowledge which we use in India, we did not patent these people, they commercialized it. So these were certain issues that IPR. India was also saying that you are stealing our traditional knowledge from neem, tulsi, turmeric. These are no household medicine that we say. That's because that's it has some antimicrobial properties. Neem is something which is used to clean our homes, to make it antimicrobial properties. They have this antimicrobial properties, but US is having all these issues. They are not trusting us. I mean, they are not. It's not that they are not trusting us. They are simply commercializing each and everything. They are not respecting the traditional knowledge of India. Okay. And then neglected issues, Indian context, why restrictions are placed and suggestions. So just see a good answer of what are the issues. Compulsory licensing, evergreening of patents, long judicial process regarding to patents, patent violation is happening, okay, reforms what we can do. And again, here I wanted to see is that the person has said, do you think the restriction placed? The person with the starting the sultan, the second page, I think that the legal restrictions, never write like this. Be very diplomatic in your answer. The person should never know what's your stand. This you can discuss both sides and conclude diplomatically. Firstly, you should not, lot of questions, do you think that India can become a developed nation? I think India can become a developed nation, start from the answer. Never give your stand at the beginning, in the mains. In your interview, you have to give the stand in your beginning. In the interview, you have to take stand. Interview, when they asked me that, do you think Indian intelligence is a failure? No sir, Indian intelligence is not a failure. We have certain issues, but we are successful in this regard. In your interview, you have to take a stand at the beginning. In your mains, you should not take a stand. They will ask you, do you think that we can do like this? Do you think that restriction placed in your opinion, what do you think? Never give your opinion. Say, just discuss the points and give a diplomatic answer that like this can happen, like this can happen. I will think, we have to do like this. Don't think yourself that you are taking a strong opinion, you will be able to do this. You won't be able to justify your points again. Rumbo grey area, the topics are very grey area. If you discuss both sides, you will have more points. If you just write that I think that we can do this, then after 3 points you will start thinking that what more points can be generated. But if you discuss the both sides, whenever question comes, do you think, comment on the question, discuss both sides. You will have a lot of points to discuss. If you just discuss one side, you won't have many points, and that way you are going to end up thinking. A lot of time will take place in thinking, and you will come up with very bad points or vague points. Once you write 3 points, you won't have more points to write, and you know that the second part of the answer needs proper justification. You have to write for 1.5 pages. Then you will write very vague points, and you will first year the point and refresh 24th point. Like that manner, what will happen is that you won't be able to justify. So, whenever, how much ever you know about the question, discuss both sides and end it diplomatically. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. 14th question. Discuss the ill effects of the ODS. Cite alternatives with reference to the emission of coal gas and recent allegations on China. So, ill effects of ODS is very simple. You can health ill effects, social, environmental ill effects. Something more on a topic you can easily discuss. Okay, what's ODS you have to discuss? Okay, what are the ill effects on health effects, environmental effects, plant effects you can discuss. And what are the alternatives? One is CFC, we have replaced to HCFC and HFC. HCFC Kigali amendment to the Montreal Protocol, you can discuss. What is said in Kigali amendment, and you have alternatives. Other alternatives, one is that ozone can be developed in this foam, aerosols, we have to replace those things. And then you can go in the general way of to replace ozone depleting substances, which includes providing this nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is an important part in depleting ozone. When the nitrous oxide reacts with the ozone, that's when the ozone starts degenerating. So reduction the number of nitrous oxides or sulfates which produces the bed. We have to reduce the pollution. Electric vehicles we can move. Bharat stage 6 norms we have to follow. So like that points we have to move over here. Okay. So allegations on China was that CFC 11 was phased out under 1987 Montreal Protocol. Despite being a signatory to the Montreal Protocol and agreeing to phase out the production of CFC 11 in 2008, China continued to emit the polluting gases. That's the allegation that put. China, in spite of signing the Montreal Protocol, it's still polluting the environment. Okay. In fact, the emission rise by 25% since 2012. Actually, the emission in China is increasing with respect to the CFC, chlorofluorocarbons. And China is controlling 40% of the world's consumption with respect to polyurethane foam market, and said that it's one of the largest contributors of chlorofluorocarbons, which is leading to ozone depletion. Okay. Answer: ill effects of ODS. Just describe what ODS is and what are the ill effects. It harmful ultraviolet rays enters into the absence of ozone layer. It causes cataract, skin cancer. It causes root blight of potato. It increases the radiated phase global warming. Persistent in nature. It will remain in long term. Okay. Industrialization, development, etc., etc. Suitable alternatives. Montreal Protocol was successful in elimination of CFC and HCFC. We are moving towards HFC, hydrofluorocarbons now. They use HFC, but HFC issues that it is a greenhouse gases. HFC is not a ODS, but it is still a GHG. Planting more trees, unconventional energy sources, industrial regulation policies, annexure to and non-annexure activities of Paris climate change, WTO incentives in carbon trading, green bonds, national green tribunal. Euro points discussed again. You just have to reduce the site alternatives, how we can reduce the ozone depleting substances. One way is that reducing the substances which is directly contributing to ozone depletion. Second one is which is indirectly contributing to ozone depletion. Discuss. Okay. Fire is an important tool in forest management. First point discuss. Why fire is an important tool in forest management? Because there are a lot of pyrotechnics. There are a lot of trees which are resistant to fire. They need fire for their survival. When the fire comes, it will burn it will burn the dry leaves, dry foliage, due to which new plants can come. And the ash, when it rains, this ash will provide nutrients to the soil. So there are few points which is good. Fire is actually a part of the forest ecosystem. But what happens is that the anthropogenic causes, natural fire is good. But then anthropologically, we intend to create fire, that is bad for the ecosystem. So that is leading to huge destruction in the fire. Fire is an important tool in forest management. Discuss why fire is an important tool in forest management. With the alarming increase in the occurrence of forest fire in the recent times. So an alarming occurrence is happening. So put a map showing where about forest fire happened in the recent times. So that's how you can address this question. Environmental based question, put a map wherever it's possible. Do you think the statement holds true? Okay. Also suggest the recommendations for forest fire management in India. So you can say the natural causes. See, when there is a natural fire, what will happen? Recycling of nutrients and helping the tree species regenerate. It will lead to survival of the fittest. I mean, these small plants, which doesn't has any way, they will get destructed, and the plants which are fire resistant, they will grow and they will ensure the forest ecosystem continues. Okay, weeding out of invasive species. Invasive species gets weeded out. Okay, maintaining habitat for some wildlife, keeping down the fuel load that feel larger, more destructive conflagrations. The people, the forest officers, they will themselves generate the fire before the summer season, so that the dry leaves they get burned. Artificial fire will be created somehow, so that the dry leaves get burned, so that the forest fire doesn't happen in a huge manner. என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா forest divide பண்ணுவாங்க. If this is the region means they will create trenches. இந்த trenches create பண்ணிட்டு இந்த region மட்டும் they will burn. They will fire கூட ரெண்டு type of fire இருக்கு. One is the crown fire, another one is the base fire. Crown fire ஆயிடுச்சுனா வந்து full forest will get destructed. அதாவது crown fire na suppose trees is there, okay. When this tree crown is burning and in the fire, if wind is in this direction, it will easily get transferred to this crown. This will cause a lot of destruction. Base fire na வந்து clear the fire. This fire won't cause a lot of destruction. When the forest officials do this fire, they will burn this base. Because here is where the nutrients will go back to the soil. Here is where the invasive species will grow, and it won't affect the crown. Crown area affect பண்ணிடுச்சுனா the entire, if the leaves get damaged, means regeneration ஆகிறது ரொம்ப difficult ஆயிடும். But base fire is actually good. So what the forest officials will do is that they will cut trenches cut பண்ணி இந்த area of fire பண்ணுவாங்க. And after this area gets fire, then they will go to the next area. Block by block they will keep fire. So that when the actual time the fire doesn't affect the forest. அது மாதிரி ஒரு situation. So fire has to be there. It's a part of forest ecosystem. Okay. What are the causes of anthropogenic causes of negligence? Discuss பண்ணிட்டு, and then you can take the measures taken. National Action Plan for Forest Fire, and what are the other measures? MODIS is a satellite, which is MODIS and LADIS are two satellites which has been used. Whatever points you can put up with respect to forest fire, you can give. Okay. Here the person has said only good aspect of the original point of mention பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Fire is an important tool. Natural fire lead to small scale succession of new environmental species. But this is the place where you have to mention a lot. Okay. What are the reasons for forest fires on the? What are the reasons for forest fire? Okay. Effects, recommendations. Roping tribal people, etc., etc. Training officials, National Board for Wildlife, campfire must be regulated. INDC targets, NDM, etc., etc. Okay. Another, forest fire occurs due to how forest fire managed by fire. They keep the forest healthy, they recycle the nutrients, they help the trees to regenerate, etc., etc. Fire clears out the unwarranted debris, making the soil to replenish. But due to increased population and judicial exploitation, we have lost them due to natural ecological balances. Forest fire management, satellite data, planting trees, dry leaves and stems to be removed, counter fire ignition. This is counter fire. Fire ஒரு direction வரும்போது ஒரு counter fire இன்னொரு direction பண்ணுவாங்க. So this both will stop the fire going to. So some fire only in that direction வருதுன்னா, this is forest fires coming in this direction. The forest official will start a counter fire from this direction, due to which the fire would stop ஆயிடும். The fire would extension stop ஆயிடும். So these are certain technical aspects of forest fires. Okay. And post fire data, national policy, increasing of fire relocations, etc., etc. Fire management is a very easier concept. You can talk a lot of points. See, the person has written so many points: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points just to manage fire. The 15 marker 14 points just to manage fire, and some 7 to 8 points on the issue of natural fire is a management tool. So 25 points is as written. Other many points written. A number of points you write, your marks will automatically get increased. And this is right, every point is just 2 lines, 2 or 3 lines. You know, few people have started explaining a point in 5 lines, 6 lines. There is no point. Be very crisp with your points. When you are writing in 2 lines or 3 lines, it makes sense. It makes for me to easier. You can tell a point in 2 to 3 lines, you can explain it to 7 to 8 lines. 7 to 8 lines, it's not going to do much benefit to you or me. You are just discussing one perspective in 7 lines and another person is discussing one perspective in 2 lines, the other person is going to get more marks. Just be very crisp, because the person who is reading, he knows, he has prior knowledge. Just will check whether a person has written forest fire, crossfire, sorry, what's the point? Counterfire. I know what's counterfire. I see this word, I know the entire mechanism, what's counterfire. A person would have written what's a counterfire. Adlo or Anjali explained counterfire, fire comes in this direction, we have to keep the fire in this direction. Not needed. A person who's correcting, he is that much capable to understand that what's a counterfire. And he will be doing it. So don't expand the point. Keep it very simple. 2 lines at max, 3 lines. That is the point of the okay. With reference to the recent floods in Kerala, identify the lacuna flood management area. In the question, most of the people have done a mistake is that you have said why flood happened in Kerala. The question was not that. With the reference to the recent floods in Kerala, identify the lacuna in flood management in India. It is about a flood management lacuna that's in India, not in Kerala. Kerala, the dam open, water stored, flood. Not needed. We do not ask that part. Well, the question did not ask you why flood is happening, why flood happened in Kerala. The question is, what is the lacuna that we are facing in flood management in India, and suggest suitable measures. Very simple question. Lacuna in flood management, 10 points, very easier. Anyone can write 10 points. Dams are not being constructed, or we are not storing adequate water. Desilting of rivers is not being happened. Okay, all the drainages or stopped, or encroachment of water bodies is happening. Like that, easily 10 points you can write. And suggest measures lo 10 point Rashtriya Bad Ayog, there is National Water Commission, flood management bodies there, Rashtriya Bad Ayog. Like that, 10 points you can write. How to manage floods, construction of check dams, construction of gravity dams, okay, ensuring that encroachments are not, desilting of lakes, desilting of rivers. Okay, like that you can write 10 points easily. Also put a map with reference to the recent floods in Kerala. Also say what are the recent floods, Uttarakhand floods, West Bengal floods, Chennai floods. So when you are saying Chennai floods, you will have 2-3 points. Why Chennai flood happened? Other reasons I will know. What is the lacuna flood management? We never expected flood will come. The entire Coom stretch is not desilted. Okay, and sudden open up of Chambrambakam lake led to this flooding issues. 2-3 points anga discuss panna. Mumbai every year flood comes. Why? Mumbai is a worst drainage system and highest floods is happening in Mumbai. If you are reading news, Mumbai last year geography option the first question was Mumbai floods. Mumbai floods is recurrently happening and still the government is unable to do anything. Every 2 years there will be flood in Mumbai. Because it's in the western coast, obviously it will receive a lot of rainfall, but still the government is unable to. And Mumbai is somewhere it's located in the Ingerko Mumbai, and here we have Western Ghats. So when the air rises, it becomes easier. The Mumbai will get a lot of rainfall. Mumbai is like a city which receives 200 to 250 centimeters rainfall. It knows it will receive that much rainfall, but still it has not done the basic thing of developing the Mithi. There is a river called Mithi River. Like Coom river, Coom for Chennai is like Mithi for Mumbai. Okay, that river, it was a freshwater river, was totally polluted. It acts like a drainage, and whenever flood comes, the river will go like that. So basic issues with Mumbai. The basic urban management is totally in shambles. That's leading to recurrent floods. We could discuss about floods, urban floods, flash floods. Flash floods happened in Rajasthan last year. When more rainfall happens, Rajasthan flash flood. Because of sudden rainfall, cloudburst happened and flash flood came in Rajasthan. We could discuss a lot of floods. Floods are very subtopics. Adala we discuss like in flood management. Okay, and then measures. Very easy measures. 10 to 15 measures. Anyone can easily say flood management. Very easily effective. Pre-flood management, post-flood management. The question is just about management, right? So entire disaster management cycle define preparation, mitigation, response, recovery. One point at the red point, your structure will become even more beautiful. The person who is correcting this area, you have to mention that flood is a disaster. So obviously you have to mention all the cycles of a disaster. If you could put a subtopic and mention 2-3 points, then your answer will become very beautiful. That was the scope of the 20th question. Cyclone Fani, we asked about disaster management cycle and compare it with Cyclone Fani. That was the scope of 20th question. Here also it could use that. Okay. Problems, you have a lot of problems. I need not tell you what are the problems and what are the measures. Just read it, all basic things. Okay. So lacunae flood management, it's not dam failure, poor management, deforestation, early warning system, desiltation, interstate coordination is not present. A lot of points. You just have to dump your knowledge here. Your constraint is your space and time, not number of points. How many points you can write, you have to write in this type of measures. Okay, measures, prevention, mitigation, and response and recovery. Relief, response and recovery. Divided into two parts. Looks good. Answer note, structural, a basic structure. Prevention and mitigation, proper auditing of safety of dams, development of early warning systems, interstate coordination, inter-country agreement. Flood happens, Brahmaputra China dam katranga. Suddenly they open the dams, means the flood will happen in India only. Right, so that should be inter-country coordination also should happen. Agreement with Nepal, Kosi the floods were there, it's because Nepal not proper dams are being constructed. Nepal is the catchment area for Kosi. And Kosi is sort of Bihar. Every year Kosi will flood because Nepal catchment area dams are not being constructed. We have to construct dams in Nepal so that people in India don't die. So like that inter-country coordination should happen. Awareness generation, deforestation in catchment areas, regular desilting, post-disaster, immediate rescue, creation of emergency teams, etc. etc. Right? A comprehensive answer. Pre-disaster, post-disaster, divide by it, you can write a lot of points in this. 17th question, EIA procedure has been one of the grossly violated legislations. You know, EIA is one of the most grossly violated. A lot of violation happens, public hearing doesn't happen properly. Category A on the category B, category B on the category B1, B2, category B2 on the project of quoted EIA. What happened in the 1980, there was a Lakhawar project was there in Uttarakhand. So 1980 the project they gave approval, but then the project was not. The project did not go, it was not carried out due to financial difficulties. What happened in 2014 or 15, they again gave the approval back to the project, saying that the project was already approved in 1980, so we did not need an environmental impact assessment. What happened was that category B projects, the EAC, Environmental Appraisal Committee, EAC in the central government, they said that category B projects, if you have not given, they have violated that, then 6 months they have the opportunity to go back and get the approval. Okay, CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General, has said that for the violations which you have done, not even a single project was penalized. So it's literally like, even if you have violated, no problem, you go back, you get the approval, you continue, destroying the environment. So environmental impact assessment is one place where a lot of violations is happening, and the CAG report not even a single project was penalized. So that's the highlight of this thing. Okay. So define what's environmental impact assessment, define the steps taken. Violation, sand mining, Supreme Court 100 crore damage for real estate developer violating the environmental clearance granted to a project in Pune. Gundia hydroelectric project. Another point for a EA report, what they did is Russia EA report copy pani paste pani that plagiarism in EA, what happens? There is no independent agency. The company itself has to do EA. So the company itself go to an organization, they will give some money, say that give me this type of EA, the EA will give. EA should be done by third party, right? But who will pay for the EA? The company has to pay for the EA. Now the party is conflict of interest. Suppose you are coming to me get the EA, you are my customer. Obviously I will make sure that I keep you happy. You are giving me 1 crore to do the EA, and if I write a report that your EA should not happen in that place, obviously you won't come to me next time. So conflict of interest happens, right? The company who is going to create EA, the company, so that is also the issue. EA create pannalle or issue. So a lot of issues there. EA is like a scam in India. It's not at all happening. Public hearing won't even happen. Public hearing public hearing. Public hearing it has a procedure that you have to put in a newspaper, you have to do this. Public hearing, 10 மணிக்கு public hearing 9 மணிக்கு ஊர்ல தெருவுல இருக்க 4 பேர் கூப்பிட்டு வச்சு உட்கார வச்சு public hearing முடிச்சிராங்க. Public hearing, a lot of issues happens. This was this issue, it came up. One of the river EA was done in Russia, that EA was exactly copied for a project in India. Avlo plagiarism. You are copying the EA. Google pannale theriyo plagiarism checker la potale theriyo where you are plagiarized. But that's the level of EA that's happening in India. Conflict of interest is happening. No project is being penalized. Whenever even if you are not doing this EA properly, then also you can go back and you can get the permission within 6 months. And notification extended. So a lot of issues. So you have to discuss what are the violations are happening. Okay, International Airport at Mopa, Karcham Bangalore hydroelectric power project for violation of EIA. Lot of time the Supreme Court comes, the CAG comes and tells. A lot of cases goes to the Supreme Court. A lot of cases get completed in the ministry itself. Okay. So challenges in the EIA implementation, measures for improvement. We just mention all these points. So diagram without EIA, with EIA violation. The general points have been mentioned, lack of awareness and terrorism, but I need a specific points of where EIA is getting violated in India. Okay. Effects, examples, steps taken by the government, etc. etc. 18th question, air pollution is one of the biggest environmental challenges of today. A time-bound national level strategy for pan-India implementation should tackle the increased air pollution problem. Okay. The question is about NCFP, National Clean Air Program. Then discuss the steps. First point is one of the biggest global environmental challenges of today. Why? Because you can say about 12 of the 15 cities of the most polluted are in India, or air pollution is killing so many people. Air pollution is a major cause of death. Every year around 2 million people die because of air pollution according to this report. And also information you have to bring in the context that it is a global environmental challenge. Why it's a global environmental challenge? People die due to asthma. You can mention Delhi or a smog problem of the people. A time-bound national level strategy should tackle the problem. So introduce about NCFP, introduce about the points, the provisions of NCFP. But again, you have to mention the challenges. NCFP, I don't think so it's going to do much bigger thing. Even after coming NCFP, Delhi has its Delhi National Action Plan. I have lived 2 years in Delhi. The condition is pathetic in Delhi. When I was there in Delhi, 2017 mains, Diwali was there before 10 days before. Mains was there, and before 10 days there was Diwali, and that was the time when winter started to set in. And my entire room was full of smog, and I was sleeping with putting a mask and switching on the AC. That is the condition of pollution in Delhi. It covers your entire room. It covers your entire home. You can't even go 2 days before Diwali, 2 days after Diwali. And that year actually Supreme Court banned firing crackers, and people were like, so Supreme Court said, we are going to fire crackers. They fired 2 days. They started firing crackers before 2 days in Delhi. That's the level of pollution that's happening in Delhi. Can't even live in the worst city in India. 2 years I was thinking when I will come out and leave this city. Certain compulsions I have to live in Delhi. If I am given another opportunity, I will never go back to Delhi. Probably admit category is somewhere in the last. Because if you are putting admit category, you have to live few years in Delhi, and the type of pollution, the type of people, the culture, the population density. Everywhere there will be people. You won't have a single moment of privacy in your life if you are going to Delhi. You have to forget privacy at all. You can't go out with your friend. Wherever you step in, there will be people. It's conditions. 1 month dengue will come, and there will be dengue fever all over. Okay, people sleeping everywhere. You go in the food path, everywhere there will be people. You go to Old Rajendra Nagar. Night 4 o'clock, people will be sitting in a tea shop discussing about an issue. Your mind will get okay. You will like what's happening in this country. It's literally Delhi is like whenever you are going to interview. I wish all of you go to interview. You go to interview, stay in Old Rajendra. Don't stay in Karol Bagh or Old Rajendra. Stay in that area. Don't stay in Tamil Nadu House. Tamil Nadu, they will give a pathetic. They will give there is this thing. Very dormitory model. They'll say that they will give you accommodation in Tamil Nadu House. I was very happy that I went to dormitory or better stay for I left that place after 2 days. So like that will happen. Stay somewhere in a room in Karol Bagh, so you will actually see what's Delhi. So much of traffic pollution. Even after having Delhi metro, the Delhi traffic is so much. No one will really, there is no traffic rules itself in Delhi. The road, people should go in this direction, buses will come in the opposite direction. அதாவது வந்து இந்த டூ வீலர்ஸ் நம்ம ஊரில் எப்படி கண்டக்டர் நமக்கு வருவாங்களே டிக்கெட் வாங்குறதுக்கு, அங்கே யூ ஹேவ் டு கோ டு கண்டக்டர் டு கெட் த டிக்கெட். The conductor will sit at his place. You have to go. If you are not going, if you are not caught with the ticket, you can't say the conductor did not come to get the ticket from you. If you are caught, you have to pay the fine. You have to go to the conductor and get the ticket. ரொம்ப பெரிய issues about Hindi. And if you don't know the language, Hindi means it's gone. People are literally they are struggling. If you don't know Hindi, everyone will speak Hindi. No one, half of the people don't know English. Again, that's becoming a bigger issue. Living in Delhi is like, if you are living in Delhi, means you can live anywhere. Chennai is also nothing. And then the heat and the cold, 2 degree, 3 degree Delhi like heat, cold, at the month of December, January. And then the heat will go to 48 degrees Celsius, okay? Like two extremes will happen. You can't even sit without AC. At least here we are, decent level heat, like 35 degree, we are getting used to this level heat. We won't complain that there is so much of heat. But Delhi, you will complain so much of heat and so much of cold. A lot of issues happens in Delhi. Okay, so coming back to the topic, I have to complete it in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So, National Clean Air Program patti discuss pannunga, targets, CPCP coverage, etc. And then discuss the main challenges, constraints. NCP is not backed by any legal structure, legal provision like Air Pollution Act or Water Pollution Act or Environmental Protection Act. It is not backed up by any legal laws. And CPCP has limited power, limited capacity. Suppose there is a power plant which is causing pollution, the CPCP cannot go and stop the power plant. It is with the Delhi government, so it becomes a very bigger issue. CPCP doesn't have enough power to censure organizations. Okay, so that's the issue. So discuss the constraints in NCFP and discuss the way forward. Okay. They discuss the key features and challenges. See, I said the challenge the person has just written as a part of the answer. It becomes difficult. I have to underline and say that you can put it in a subheading. Because when a person is writing I am searching for where the person has written challenges. But the person who's, it goes in a flow. I will show you. Over 60 years, kannadi potu check பண்றவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. See, the entire points and systems goes in a similar manner. It becomes very difficult to differentiate where your second part of the answer is starting, where your first part of the answer is ending. If you put a subtopic over there, it becomes easier for us to understand, okay, you are putting a second topic over here. Okay, all the challenges and a way forward part. 19th question, very easy I think so, the ocean mining, the seabed mining and ocean mining. Countries are delving deeper into the ocean to exploit mineral wealth. Deposits on ocean floor enormous and ecology of this large habitat unexplored. How will deep sea mining impact the ecology and shape the mechanism to share common resources? Two part of your answer. How will deep sea mining impact the ecology? First part. How it will shape the mechanism to share the common resources? Because ecology people would have written, but I don't know how many people would have written the shape the mechanism to share the common resources. This entire sea, this is called as global commons. High seas is a part of global commons. Again, a person can come, Indian Ocean, if someone is polluting, that means it will affect the Indian Ocean region and geopolitical issues will happen, sharing of common resources. So on the points we need to discuss in the question. So discuss what's deep sea mining, various countries delving, which are countries, China, India, everyone are delving. The point is that UNCLOS level, the ISN or the International Seabed Authority, they are the ones who are dealing with this thing, but they don't have adequate powers, International Seabed Authority. So literally deep sea mining is an area where free hand is given to each and every person. You can do whatever you want, and even you create pollution, no one is going to come back and tell you that you have created pollution. So structurally one issue. Okay, ecological impacts, various disturbances, people, sound pollution, noise pollution in the bottom area. Actually bottom area there are two issues, light pollution and noise pollution. When you go to the sea floor, when you are drilling, noise pollution, sea floor is the area which is not exposed to any type of noise. So the drill part of the noise pollution will affect the organism. When they have never exposed to noise in that region, it's so calm, sea bed. And then light pollution. When you are drilling it, obviously you will put some light. And sea bottom is where there is no light, complete darkness. These animals are got used to the darkness. They live in the darkness. Suddenly you put some light. These animals, the sea bed organisms, the entire things will change. They may even die. Anything can happen. We have not adequate research on what will happen, but it will definitely affect them. Their entire life has been in darkness, and suddenly some light is coming. This their impact, it will impact the ecology, the sea level organisms. Okay. So discuss mechanism to share resources. Two parts of this answer. Discuss what is the way forward. Okay. Final question: disaster management will succeed only if all phases of disaster management cycles are addressed. For a diagram portrait, show that what are the disaster management cycles and what are the cycles, and comment with respect to Cyclone Fani, one of the biggest storms in the recent years to make landfall in India. Cyclone Fani how Odisha managed Cyclone Fani in the various stages: prevention, mitigation, disaster response, recovery. Last stage discuss further. Okay. Preparedness. What are all preparation for coastal districts, Rajasthan districts, southern districts which are less vulnerable. The government have got Doppler radars in Paradip and Gopalpur ports. The most important thing is that they have an early warning system, which is the first in the country. Odisha has the first early warning system in the country. They had satellite phones for all district collectors and digital mobile radio connectivity. The Odisha State Disaster Management Authority was the country's first such body. Odisha has a very advanced disaster response system. It is a best prepared state for cyclones. They have everything in practice. 1999 super cyclone, they learned their lesson. 1999 super cyclone, you can Google it and read how many people died, how much of disaster happened in Odisha. They learned that mistake. They learned from the mistake. They made sure that Odisha is one of the states which every year a cyclone will come. So they learned and they ensured that no other cyclone, when cyclone comes, they have an entire mechanism in place. They have the proper standard operating procedure. They have the proper mechanism. District collectors have been trained to such level that whenever something comes, they know what they have to do. They have the clear procedure of what they have to do. Just implement it so that they could save a lot of lives. Okay. Impact assessment points, response recovery. Now point discuss your answer is done. Okay. We can also discuss about Sendai framework for disaster risk DR, disaster risk recovery. Sendai framework speaks about managing the disaster rather than post management of disaster, early management of disaster. So Sendai framework is the entire mechanism is based on Sendai framework. So preparation, mitigation, putting a diagram showing what is the pre-disaster and post-disaster management, and discussing about pre-disaster management points and post-disaster management. In fact, you point preparation, mitigation, response, relief, point discuss the answer will be even more holistic in nature. Okay, so that's it. If you have any doubts, you can ask, or else we can break 7:28 Delhi time.